serious dark web users of Reddit, was there ever a point in your use that you felt you were genuinely in danger? What happened? I was a casual orderer of the dark web for a while and got pretty big into it and started buying slightly bulky packages of drugs. If you knew the markets for a while, then you would know one called Alpha Bay was the best of the best. The Amazon of drugs and fraud would be its best description. However, it went down mysteriously one day and everyone assumed the owners just scammed everyone for their Bitcoin. Partially true, but in the background it was actually seized the D. Everyone flocked to a new site called Hansa which had some sketchy design features, but it was the next best alternative. Turns out the Dutch police took over the site and with cooperation of multiple governments ran a drug distribution onion site with over $1 million of transactions for around a month. They were gathering information from unsuspecting users, including me, who bought with faulty security practices. Now this is where I started freaking out. Imagine trafficking drugs through the mail and the Attorney General at the time, Jeff Sessions, makes a speech live on television that he was going to crack down and explicitly explains how fucked everyone on Hansa was because they have been gathering data for over a month. And in a big dick energy move closes the site and puts up a banner in its place saying everyone who has purchased will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law during his live speech. I was shitting myself for a month as many arrests did occur, but luckily I guess I wasn't important enough and nothing happened to me. I own a fairly rare car that had a rare error code. I looked it up on Google and there was only one other person on the car makers forum that had the same error. And this guy took months and months going back and forth between car shops and the forum thread to try to get the issue fixed. Everyone on the forum was pitching in to try to help him. So I kept going through this long forum thread to try to figure out if he ever fixed it. And suddenly there's no more replies from the guy. Everyone was scratching their heads for a while. We thought he had maybe gotten the issue fixed and didn't bother to update us on it. Then one day, a news article popped up about a really rich guy who died in a Thai jail cell. And then we connected the two stories and they matched up. The same make and model of the car in the news article matched up with his car. And they were both claiming to be in Thailand at the time. So what happened was that same guy who was still talking on the forums got raided by the Thai police around the same time he stopped replying to the forum. Turns out that he was running one of the biggest dark web marketplaces where drugs were being sold and exchanged. It had something like $1 million in revenue per day, and he was hiding out in Thailand while living in luxury. They found him dead in his jail cell a few days later. They claim he died of suicide. I've written a couple of books about the dark web, which means I've spent a bit of pretty much every day of the past 8 years poking around inside. Over the years I spoke to, interviewed, and even visited many dark web identities, drug dealers and operators of darknet markets mostly. I attended the trial of one of the most evil people on the planet, Lux, the owner of Hurt to the Core, a child torture site. Turned out to be a friendless, unhappy kid who built his evil empire from his childhood bedroom, with his parents blissfully unaware of what was happening under their noses. The only time I felt even slightly in danger despite all this nosing around in there was when I helped uncover a Hidman scam. The owner of Bisa Mafia, the most profitable murder for hire site in history, came after me when I started writing about him. He made loads of threats. You don't know who I am, but I know who you are and where you live. But that wasn't scary, as I had access to the backdoor of his site thanks to a friendly hacker and knew he didn't really want to hurt anybody. It took a bit of a darker turn when he told the people who had signed up to work as hitmen on his site and who he made video themselves burning cars with signs on them to advertise how legit his site was, then never sent them the promised money for doing so, that I was the owner of the site who had ripped them off. That could have become ugly, but luckily even the thugs weren't dumb enough to believe him. The only other time I've been a bit nervous was when Homeland Security wanted to have a friendly meeting with me on one of my trips to the US to attend a trial. They were friendly, but scary too. I've never personally felt I was in actual danger, so to speak, since I take proper precautions, but early on I did accidentally come across a site/forum while exploring that was filled with snuff photos of women people had assaulted and then knocked out or killed. Shut down my browser pretty quick after that, but felt uneasy for a long time after. I've gotten 2 of those accidentally, I was on a file sharing program, Emil, and they were labeled as something else. One was a young Russian, I think, soldier being killed, and one was a woman. In both cases, it was sickening. I wanted to contact the police for the woman, but I didn't. What good would it do? Plus I thought there was a small chance it was faked. The Russian guy though, it was not faked. In real life, I had an acquaintance who liked sick websites. Pictures of people in car crash, pictures of people in a morgue, anything where there was dead people. I stopped talking to him because the stuff he sent me just kept getting sicker. 4F. All I sent him was jokes and images/movies of girls. It makes me sad that there are people who are into this. Seriously, I was disgusted and horrified, and then felt sad for days. Also, if other people weren't into it, then maybe there would be no market for this stuff. I also saw this on Rotten.com for sure, the Russian combat knife beheading. Heard somewhere it had to do with Chechnya. Seriously though, early 2000s surfing was fucking bananas. I remember being at a party in like 01 and someone just started playing a video of a woman with an octopus in her pussy, and that was like what the internet was. Just let's watch some fucked up shit, and then let's watch those Jijo overdubs on a Bombs World. I legit don't think anyone ever thought you could get in trouble. The whole fucking web was dark in those years. I had an older cousin back then, creepy proto-neckbed type, who told my mom he wanted to get into internet security, and I thought, that's fucking dumb. You can't police that shit. It's wild AF. I remember when I was young, my friends and I discovered that the internet was filled with some vile shit. Think the glory days of one guy one ice pick, three guys one hammer etc. I discovered a site called All Gore, and seen a video of some guy violating a naked decapitated woman. He was filming it like he was showing off some prized possession. I've never been more disturbed and quickly left the website and stayed off my computer for a while. It's really fucked up what some people are capable of. Not really a dark web user, but I got darksked by an Ianazi group on the dark web and ended up having to use the dark web to find the websites that had my information. Department of Homeland Security and the FBI showed up on my doorstep because they were threatening to send me letter bombs and send people to abduct and r//me. It was scary shit. They all fell off the face of the earth recently, so I'm just hoping the feds got to them. Edit. I elaborated more in the comments. Feel free to ask questions, but I might not give too much more information out. I don't want to be identified by anyone who's come across my darksks or is associated with the group who did this in the first place. Boys and girls, don't give out your information or communicate with others. And if you plan on purchasing anything, use a secure Linux OS like Tails. Use private keys. Connect to a public Wi-Fi spot, not your house. Encrypt all messages. Use multi-signature markets, so your chances of not losing your Bitcoin lessens. Escrow preferably. Never send your Bitcoins from a wallet attached to you directly to the seller. Tumble your coins first. And when the package arrives, don't open it for a few days. A friend of mine gave me all this info and told me I should help you guys out. The only real difference between the internet you and I are using right now and the dark web is that you need special software or configurations to access it. You have plenty of opportunities of finding bad shit on the regular web. With that in mind, I'd say that the regular web is more dangerous since it lulls you into a sense of security. I mean, most people these days have a significant amount of their personal information on there. The dark web, you're likely going to have a sense to be more anonymous. Personally, I just used it for playing a WoW private server back in the day, since the hosts didn't want to get a C&D from Blizzard. I stumbled on an animal torture page, uninstalled Tor just a few seconds after, but the mental scarring is for life. Edit. Since many people have asked how I stumbled on such a thing. This is how. Well, I was browsing a hidden wiki, and if my memory serves correctly, the entries were drug sellers. Nah, I don't do drugs. Child porn. Nope, not my fetish. Hitman services. HMM. Nope, not yet. Credit card numbers. I'm pretty well off right now, so not needed. Animal torture. HMM. I have watched those videos published by Peter, and yes, they were disturbing, but not at all horrifying, and defiantly did not convert me to veganism. How bad can this be? Oh, how wrong I was. Religious Silk Road and CGMC user here. I used to get the stuff delivered to my dorm, but the package didn't come directly to my room. I had to go pick it up from my dorm building office. For my third or fourth order from Silk Road I got an email saying that a package had arrived for me, but when I went to pick it up I was told by a app that my package was in the door's office. I was freaked out. I also for some reason was getting a lot of spam calls which added to my anxiety. I was scared shitless. I didn't go to pick it up for like 4 days and kept getting emails from the door to come pick it up. I didn't go because I thought that it was a setup. But after a couple days I said fuck it because I had paid a lot of BTC for that order. So I went to pick it up. It was literally nothing. The people holding on to my order couldn't have been more nicer. They couldn't give me a reason why that package was delivered there and not to my dorm. So I just ordered more lol.